Among some of the world's most magnificent naturally occurring wonders stands one that is quite beautiful in all of its dangerous mystery: the volcano. A volcano is a mountain that opens downward to a reservoir of molten rock called lava below the Earth's surface. Volcanoes are mainly found or formed at the following three places: hotspots, divergent plate boundaries, and convergent plate boundaries. At a divergent plate boundary, tectonic plates move apart, producing gaps which molten lava rises to fill, creating volcanoes. At a convergent plate boundary, plates collide, forcing the more dense tectonic plate to sink beneath the plate that is less dense, forming what is called a subduction zone. Volcanoes are also formed here. When two plates abduct or collide to build a mountain range, volcanoes are formed. When the sinking plate melts at a subduction zone, it descends into the asthenosphere and magma is generated. The magma rises through the other plate, forming volcanoes. Though most volcanoes are located and formed near plate boundaries, that can't be said about all volcanoes. Some volcanoes are formed at hotspots. A hotspot is an area in the mantle from which heat rises as a thermal plume from deep inside the earth. Plumes are bodies of warmer, lighter material in the mantle that rise by convection. When you think volcano, you tend to think fire destruction, but not all volcanoes are active. There are actually three states of volcanoes: extinct, dormant, and active. An extinct volcano is a volcano that scientists consider unlikely to erupt again. An extinct volcano is one that is not erupted in the past 10,000 years, and it no longer has a lava supply. A dormant volcano is an active volcano that is not erupting but is believed to erupt again. An active volcano is a volcano that has had at least one eruption in the past 10,000 years. Not only are there three different stages of volcanoes, but there are also different types of volcanoes. The main ones being composite, dome, and shield. We're going to get a little deeper into what a shield volcano is. Shield volcanoes are produced by the buildup of fluid basaltic lavas. They are wide and somewhat flat. Some might say that this slightly domed structure resembles a warrior's shield, hence the name shield volcano. Shield volcanoes form from quiet eruptions. Lava flows out quietly for long distances. The parts of a shield volcano are the magma chamber, flank eruption, the central vent, and the summit caldera. Shield volcanoes have grown from the ocean floor to form islands or seamounts. Believe it or not, the islands of the Hawaiian chain were formed by shield volcanoes. Mauna Loa is one of 5 overlapping shield volcanoes that make up Hawaii's Big Island. It is over 6 miles high from its base to its summit, reaching greater heights than that of Everest. This is uncommon given that shields tend to be smaller in size. Iceland and the Galapagos are also composed of either one or several shield volcanoes. We've talked so much about shields forming islands, leading you to believe that shields only form on the ocean floor. But some shields have formed on continents. Take Sussex, for example. It was formed on the continent of Africa and East Africa in the country of Kenya. Most lava flow from shield volcanoes is that of the Pahoehoe type, but sometimes it can also change into the Aa type flow. We previously talked about parts of a shield volcano, but didn't get deep at all. Speaking of deep, the caldera of one of the world's largest shield volcanoes has a depth that averages 500 feet. Caldera on large shield volcanoes are formed when the roof over the magma chamber collapses. This occurrence can happen through the evacuation of a magma reservoir after a large eruption. When a shield volcano is in its final stages of growth, the lava activity becomes more sporadic. The lava increases in viscosity, resulting in thicker, shorter flows, contributing to the slope of the summit area, making it more steep. The most active shield volcano in the world is Kilauea. Since the year 1823, when scientists began keeping record of Kilauea, there have been over 50 eruptions witnessed. Kilauea inflates months before each eruption as magma slowly moves up and accumulates in a central reservoir a few kilometers below the summit. Small earthquakes occur for up to 24 hours before an eruption as a warning. Some other shield volcanoes you might have heard of are Mount Washington, Brushy Butte, Mount Warning, Fernandina Island, and Mount Carthala. We don't hear about volcanoes erupting often, but they do, and they are very dangerous and have killed thousands of people. Lava flows, surprisingly, are the least likely way to be killed by a volcano, since lava flows can actually be outrun. Volcanoes emit poisonous gases that can cause suffocation. During a volcanic eruption, volcanic ash can be spewed up to 45 kilometers in the air. It covers everything in its perimeter, and though it has a resemblance of snow, it is actually heavy enough to collapse buildings and kill crops. In the year 2014, in Japan, a volcano called Mount Ontake erupted, killing what was said to be 31 people, and 4 men were confirmed dead. Some of the survivors gave heartbreaking stories, but one of the survivors said that the reason that we don't know that so many are hurt and killed by volcanoes is because we don't know enough about them. So with all the fear and mystery surrounding volcanoes, one might be tempted to ignore these wonders of the world and hope for the best. But humans have been living among these magnificent mountains since the beginning of time, and we should give into the intrigue of the world around us. And who knows, maybe one day you'll find yourself hiking to the top of a dormant volcano.